Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of DFS Preview from the Sports Chief. I'm your host, AustYn. So the next race up on the agenda is Dover Downs, or Dover International Speedway as they're calling it now, with the Drydene 400. So we just got finished with the first round of the NASCAR playoffs. 4 drivers were eliminated from the field, so 12 remain. So keep that in mind while making your lineups this week. Dover is just a high-banked, fast 1-mile oval. Denny Hamlin actually set the track record this today, actually, setting for qualifying. So keep that in mind. The speeds are up. They're using and I know I go through the aero packages just about every show, but they're using the 750 horsepower package. So speeds are going to be pretty similar to what they were in years past. Of course, they were just as faster. A lot of the speeds are separated by tenths in qualifying, so every second, every movement matters in this race. And I think that's why you kind of want to pick guys that kind of keep a level head and things of that nature. Track position is very important, so you'll see a lot of guys starting up front that will stay there more than likely. I'm going with more of a tournament strategy, I believe, for this week just because of the way the salary came up. I took a long time trying to make this lineup, so this is what we're going to roll out here with the Sports Chief. So I'll go ahead and get started with the salaries here. So looking at what DraftKings has offered us, we got Kyle Busch at a whopping $12,000, starting in 18th spot. Very attractive as far as where he's starting. Martin Truex starting in 3rd, was actually the race winner earlier this year in May at Dover. Kevin Harvick starting in 4th at 11-1, and Truex is 11-6, by the way. Harvick 11-1. Denny Hamlin starting on the pole at 10-7. Chase Elliott starting in 5th at 10-3. Brad Keselowski rounds out your 10K guy starting in 16th, and as you go on the list there, you'll see some other big names. So, looking at what DraftKings has given us here, Kyle Busch is going to be pretty heavily picked, I believe. I'm not going to go that route today. There's a guy that I think will be very fast and contend for the win and hopefully lead a lot of laps, and that's Kevin Harvick. Last year here, he led over 200 and some laps, dominated that race. Normally, when he's got a car that's just very fast on long runs, he tends to do that. He was actually the fastest in the 30-lap runs in the second practice. And that's a very important stat that I looked at on NASCAR.com, was the long run speed. Because I think we'll have a lot of long runs here at Dover, like you typically do in the past. The last race had 6 cautions, and I think last year's race in October had 5. So not a lot of cautions, 400 laps. I'm thinking that Harvick will get to the front pretty quick and take over that spot. Now, choosing him at 11-1 is pretty pricey, so knowing how qualifying panned out, Daniel Hemrick here is starting in 31st spot at 5'9". He's a guy that I want to go with. He was decently quick in practice. I'm not going to say he was great. He was probably a top 20 car, realistically. Starting in 31st, though, if he can get you a top 25, that's 6 spots, and he's definitely got the horsepower to do it. So I really like him in that spot. And knowing that I had to pick Harvick, well, I didn't have to, but knowing that I wanted Harvick really bad, I want to get other top-notch drivers. So picking Hemrick there gives me a little bit of flexibility as far as cars pass, things of that nature. Because if you look down here, Ryan Preece, which is another intriguing option, he was really slow. Michael McDowell, 28, would be my other guy that you could go with. If you didn't go with Hemrick, you could go with Michael McDowell, and you'd probably be okay. But I do think Hemrick has a higher ceiling, so to speak. Bubba Wallace, 26, that's probably right around where he'll be at, in my opinion. Ty Dillon will probably drop. Ricky Stenhouse is actually a very intriguing option. He just found out that he's losing his ride for next year, so he might be, racing for something to prove here. And he's decent at Dover. So, but we're going to go back up towards the top. We got $82.50 to spend. And there's a couple guys up here that, Denny Hamlin started on the pole. He'll probably be up there for a long time. Truex is just dominant here. Won, like I said, he won the race earlier this year, and he's been on a tear as of late. Chase Elliott starting in fifth. Chase's average finish is like fourth here, 4 point something. I mean, that's amazing. He hasn't, he's been in the sport long enough to make that stat seem pretty crazy. Brad Keselowski starting in 16th is pretty good. Another guy that I really like this week, though, was Joey Logano starting in 14th, and I'm going to go with Joey this week. Joey he was third in that 30-lap run that I kind of monitored. He was up there towards the top. He actually was, I believe, the fastest in the first practice. So keep that in mind. Joey Logano starting in 14th. I could easily see him getting a top 5. Don't know if he's got a race-winning car, but I do think he's going to be chalk. But I'm going to go with him anyway. So at 7, 8 there, we're looking at a pretty substantial amount of money there. So another guy that I really want to roll with is Brad Keselowski, starting in 16th there. So we're going to go that route as well. Penske Fords, I really like them. I can't see Brad Keselowski. Again, he's in the playoffs. A lot of these guys, they're going to be knocking the doors down, and they're going to be going as hard at it as they can. And I think Brad Keselowski will do good enough to make that 10K warranted. You're going to see like Kyle Larson. I really think Kyle will do well. He just hasn't put together a lot of good finishes here as of late, and I'm kind of afraid to go that route. Chase Elliott will be heavily picked at 5th, and rightfully so. I just like that starting position just too much there. And also, what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to have to scroll down here and pick some of these lower guys, and I'm probably going to go Ryan Preece starting in 32nd. I did the math, and a guy that I really liked actually was Matt Tifft, starting in 23rd, though. Even if he finished where he's, slated there, if you look at the contest details here, if he finished 23rd where he's at, he wouldn't gain any points as far as past cars. He'd get 21 points. If Ryan Preece gets 27th, that's 5 spots, and that's 23 points. He could literally finish, the 23rd is 21 points. So, let's see, 3, 8, 420. Yeah, I mean, he could finish 27th and still get that kind of output. It's just too great, to have that. And I firmly believe that Kevin Harvick or Joe Logano will take care of business here. So it leaves me with $7,800, and I'm going to go with the 11-time winner here at Dover. It's going to be hard for me not to pick Jimmie Johnson. I know he's actually putting together some solid runs here, and I really like it, that option. You can kind of bounce around stuff. Say if you didn't do Hemrick, you didn't do Preece, you could go down here. You could do, Michael McDowell, and let's just say you did do Preece. And then you scroll up here, you're still looking at Jimmy. If you took Preece out, and I went with the route that I wanted to with Matt Tifft, you're looking at $8,200. You could go Ryan Newman, but Ryan Newman was very slow, and that is a lot of spots, but I just don't like that as much. So I'll clear it here just to show you my final lineup that the Sports Chief is rolling out here. Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano. Boom, 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 top-notch guys, contenders for the championship. I think they'll make some hay this week, and they've got very attractive spots. I think Harvick will dominate. I think Keselowski can get a top 8, which is, 50-some points. I think Joey Logano can also do that as well, and that's just spots and great finishing spots for these guys, finishing positions. Jimmie Johnson starting in 11th. He's, believe it or not, I think he could be a tournament pick. I think a lot of people may pick him, but there's a lot of good options up top, and I don't know. I think people may go with Bowman more so than Johnson. He did finish second here earlier this year. So I'm hoping I'm going against the grain with going to Jimmy there. And then I'm going to pick the 2 rookies, Daniel Hemrick and Ryan Preece, solely because I think they can get top 25s, and that would help me a lot with that strategy. So that's what I'm going to go with here. Feel free to put some comments there, like our video, subscribe to our channel. Try to put these things out here. Also, to keep in mind, the Sports Chief, some of those guys are, well, actually, I believe 4 of them are going to Europe. So I believe they are in Europe. So they should be putting up some vlogs here soon. So that'd be pretty cool just to see Europe there. We're reporting here back at the headquarters. So just to do a little work here for the YouTube channel. Hopefully we can help you out as much as we can on our NASCAR lineups. And check us out on Twitter as well, at the Sports Chief. Look at the Instagram page, see some cool pictures that we're probably going to put up here at the Sports Chief. So hope you have a good race day for the Drydene 400 at Dover, Delaware. Have a good one.